Racing games come in many shapes and sizes, but most of them follow some ground level standards like getting to the finish line. However, as the genre has grown over time, there's also games that have blurred those lines and break conventions to make something new. One of those is Codemaster's unsung gem from 2018, ONRUSH. Regrettably, I never gave this game the time of day when it launched, as it didn't fit my then naive assumptions of what a racing game should be. It wasn't until my horizons expanded and played other non-conventional games that broke the mold that I finally tried this game during its final days of online multiplayer. It was only at the end of the road that I truly understood what this game was and what I missed out on for so many years. A fast and aggressive off-roading great time that emphasizes teamwork in ways that you won't find in a traditional racer. So with introductions out of the way, this is ONRUSH, a recreational game of teamwork.
Boost and rush to score. Go!
What? They're down! They're down!
ONRUSH is all about driving in a literal stampede of off-road vehicles on mountainous trails as you boost, jump, and crash together with a team of 5 players to clear a variety of objectives. Whether it's boosting more than the other team, or holding down a moving zone with more teammates than your opponents. You do this with some very simple controls: standard gas, brakes, and steering, plus a handbrake to make tighter turns, and a boost button. The boost meter fills up as you draft, catch air, and destroy as many of the slow and fragile fodder vehicles and your opponent's vehicles as you can. Just to be clear, ONRUSH doesn't have any finish lines, but you are still racing to complete objectives faster than the other team. Getting things done doesn't always mean driving faster, but also taking out the competition so there's less of them on the field for short but precious seconds. There's plenty of options for taking down opponents, from a full-speed head-on crash into another vehicle's side, to an airborne crush from above, or shunting to send foes into walls or obstacles. You can also assist teammates with takedowns as well. Just be careful not to get so wrapped up in your wanted destruction that you end up wrecking yourself. Aside from the aforementioned tactics being used against you, smashing up against any unbreakable objects at high speeds, or not landing wheels first will also cause you to wreck. Every vehicle that crashes leaves behind tombstones, which can be picked up by any player to help fill up their boost meter. Boosting, takedowns, and other actions like tricks, close calls or obstacles, and drafting your allies and enemies also fill up your rush gauge, which when full gives you a grandiose speed boost, plus vehicle-specific offensive or defensive abilities that can help your team and hinder the competition. These range from a turbulence wave that inhibits opponents' grip when they're in your wake, filling up nearby teammates' boost meter, or temporarily blurring out the vision of opponents behind you. The first team to complete the game's objective wins a round, often out of the best 3 or 5 round match, so work together, work rough, and work fast. ONRUSH's courses are off-road routes through a wide range of outdoor mountainous environments, with plenty of huge drops, destructible scenery, and indestructible obstacles. Wooded forests, rocky canyons, beach coasts, and industrial zones are the types of areas you'll be driving through, each with distinct set pieces and layouts. The drivable areas are quite wide, so there's plenty of room for a crowd, with some splits in the road and narrow stretches to make opportunities for takedowns more frequent. There's also plenty of huge ramps that are great for big air bike tricks, barrel rolls, and aerial takedowns. You'll be weaving through fields of trees, boulders, support beams, and buildings, all while keeping away from any walls. You can use your surroundings to your advantage by checking opponents, and sending them into any of these hazards, knock them off course, or even have them follow you and bait them into crashing at the last second. Each environment can also take place at various times of day, plus rain, snow, and stormy weather which affect visibility to throw in some extra challenge. With such dynamic tracks combined with chaotic off-road driving, every lap is far from predictable. Your arsenal of vehicles includes pairs of bikes, dune buggies, cars, and trucks, each with their own special abilities and extreme sports-like names, and with the right vehicle combinations can make a team an unstoppable force. Bikes are lightweight daredevils capable of pulling off front and back flips, but are the most vulnerable to takedowns. Buggies are fast, light, and agile, and are perfect for moving up the field. Cars have a balance feel that can get any job required of it done well. Trucks are big, heavy, and durable when performing takedowns or surviving them, but aren't the fastest. When vehicles get up close and personal, Generally, the larger one hits the smaller one harder. No vehicle regardless of size is safe from getting crushed from above though. All 8 vehicles have unique sets of abilities that includes an offensive or support maneuver, a special condition that increases the rush gauge quicker, and the effect that occurs when rushing. The Outlaw, for example, creates shockwaves when making landings, the Dynamo leaves behind pickups whilst boosting to help fill up a teammate's boost meter, the Vortex gains rush fuel faster by performing barrel rolls, and the Titan leaves behind small walls that slow down opponents during a rush. Like I mentioned earlier, different combinations of vehicles can change the team's dynamic during a game, so there's strength and variety. If your chosen vehicle isn't working out for you, most matches will allow you to choose a different one whenever you wreck, so you can try out a different strategy to keep helping your team complete the given objective. While you're working as part of a group, your rides can still stand out with plenty of paint colors and designs for every vehicle, plus a tombstone, and your choice of character, with a selection of outfits and victory animations. With all the wild and crazy racing action going on, it's great to have who and what you're driving with match that kind of energy. There's nothing I love more in a racing game than colorful and loud visuals and sounds, aspects of ONRUSH's presentation that it excels at in spades. Despite driving through roads of dirt, grass, and sand, everything in the game pops with color. Track markers glow a bright neon green, so they're always visible and help guide you through when the path forward may not be immediately clear. At some points the guides weren't clear enough though, mostly when racing at night. There were moments where the track was too dark that even with headlights on, I couldn't see a stray rock that I would have otherwise avoided. The rush effects also glow neon blue or orange depending on the team that activated them, and their effects are instantly recognizable, so you always know what's going on. As long as it's someone on your team is rushing, the trail effects left behind also look quite cool, and equally just as threatening when they're coming from the other team. Racing and wrecking never looked or felt so good with this game's 60 frames per second performance, especially as you fly through scenery and watch vehicles get smashed to pieces. Takedowns make use of cinematic slowdown and a camera angle adjustment to let you briefly take in the impact, which makes the hits you take sting when you're on the receiving end, but also make you feel so satisfied when you're the one dishing out the destruction. The photo mode is also perfect for capturing those hype, high-octane moments with your own artistic flair and camera work. The game's music is a mixtape of high-energy EDM and electronic rock during matches, and ambient tracks playing in menus as you get prepared for the next adrenaline rush. Speaking of which, the final touch that makes the rush mechanic so much fun is the song that plays. Nothing screams, "I'm going insanely fast and nothing can stop me," than the sample they picked out.
Man overboard! I repeat, man overboard!
To add to this game's upbeat vibe, the distorted announcer voices, the dynamic sound mixing while you're airborne, wiping out, or seconds away from a round ending, radio transmission like sound bites that play during takedowns, and the transitions between songs after every round, makes the game sound like a DJ's performing a set throughout the entire match. And it's awesome. ONRUSH is rather to the point with its modes, which gets you right into the racing action playing the 4 different game types. Since I haven't gone into much detail on each type, I'll mention them now. Overdrive is where you do whatever it takes to boost more than the other team, which earns points, and the first team to reach the point threshold wins. Countdown is where teams drive through gates set up across the track to add more time to their team's timer, with the goal to have more time left than your opponents as the timers run out. Lockdown is where teams have to remain in a moving zone for 5 seconds, with ownership of the zone switching depending on which team has the most members inside, often leading to fights for control by any means necessary. Switch is where everyone starts with a bike and must survive for as long as possible to keep their vehicle, and will cycle through all 4 vehicle types when they wreck the current one, with the goal to make every member of the opposing team lose all of their vehicles first. Even if you run out of switches and can only drive trucks at that point, you must protect your teammates with more vehicles left, and take out the opponents who still have vehicles to spare. If you'd like to get a feel for how each vehicle's abilities work, there's training missions for each of them that task you with performing as many of these skills as you can within 5 minutes, with your highest score of each ability saved. For single matches played your way, you can create a custom game, with any combination of environment, game type, and vehicle restrictions you want. If you're looking for a campaign mode, head to Superstar, where you'll play in preset events that offer various combinations of game types and vehicle restrictions, plus match challenges to complete to earn star points, which unlock new events and a few customization items. You'll start out playing as a group of gearheads looking to make ONRUSH a phenomenon, to legitimizing your antics by forming teams in a league and seeking to be the first names on the ONRUSH Founders Trophy. Some events are single matches, and others are multiple match tournaments. As you progress through each chapter of Superstar, the difficulty of the AI opponents and the demands of challenges increases, so some of them may take a few retries to get a specific task done before a match is over. You can focus on one challenge at a time, and can always replay an event later to complete other challenges. You're free to complete unlocked events in any order you like, and you don't need to earn every star point possible to make it to the final event. However you choose to reach the Founders Trophy tournament, your victory will be well earned once you've completed it. The true fun of ONRUSH lies in its online multiplayer, though I guess I should say it lied in its online multiplayer. The game's servers shut down back in November 2022, so all the footage here are recorded from those final days. My time was split between custom game sessions with players I met through Discord, and Quick Play, which randomly selects a game mode and map, and divides up to 10 players into both teams. Like any online team-based game, your experience is going to depend on the type of people you're playing with and how strong everyone's connections are. But for a first-time player, I didn't experience any noticeable connection drops or network issues, and most likely because the players still around were also trying to get their last games in. Everyone was actively playing towards completing the objective and not trying to blatantly grief anyone. I'm aware that the game also had a ranked online mode and a rotation of seasonal challenges that unlocked exclusive customization items, but I didn't experience either, so I can't speak to them. But from what I did play, I instantly got this game's unique brand of fun, and realized that with the online multiplayer games that I currently dabble with, ONRUSH totally would have been on my rotation, had I been willing to try it out years ago when I added it to my PlayStation Plus library. Beyond playing online, the offline status also stopped every player's progression, which is tied to earning in-game currency to purchase customization items, so what I and everyone else has in the game is all we'll ever be able to unlock. Perhaps custom servers hosted by some talented and dedicated fans may be an option someday, but for the foreseeable future, players sharing their fond memories is all that can be done, so that in some small but meaningful way, this game won't be completely forgotten. Better to have loved late than to have never loved at all, because ONRUSH is a game that ended up being in my wheelhouse this whole time. I just had to become more open to accept its unconventional style, and if I was able to embrace the game with open arms within the first few minutes, and continue to play this game after the loss of its online multiplayer, then I think that's a sign of how fun it was and still is to play. I even bought a physical copy to truly have it as part of my racing game collection. While ONRUSH's time may have come and gone, I hope that with my mind more open to trying new things, and my fingers better on the pulse for what other offbeat, yet fun racing games are out there, that I won't let another ONRUSH situation pass me by. As always, this has been fun, and I'm already looking forward to covering another amazing racing game. So I hope you'll check out what I've got in store for next time, and thank you for watching.
You win.